let's see what comes out. It's always amazing.
Well, I don't know what
Always
this thing
amazing.
is. I think it's a strip show, dance show.
Work there, dude.
Welcome to
DeaconLive.
DeaconLive.
Welcome back, guys. On today's show, we play all your New Year's 2024 predictions. Also, a 90210 cast member gets a brawl in the street. Also, why are people leaving the United States in masses for a better life? Also, New Jersey ends the telemarketer callers thanks to Jerry Seinfeld. All this and much, much more we discussed here on DeaconLive. And for the next 60 minutes or so, we're going to travel through your social news and media feeds and give you the stories that you might have missed over the past 7 days or so. So how are you? Welcome to 2024. We did it. We did it, everyone. Give yourself a big round of applause. We made it one full year. Some of us made it. Others, unfortunately, we had to leave those people behind, but you know how that goes. And so with the new year, everyone says, new year, new me. I'm going to do everything. And then, what is it? I think the cutoff time is January 21st or something like that, where you actually get 3 weeks into the new year and you're like going, I'm not doing that shit. I'm still same me, same year. I'm not going to improve myself. But some people, hopefully you can do. I know for me, the start of the new year changed the kind of a lifestyle that I have here at the house. As you guys know, we sit on about 24 some odd acres. Not 24, sorry. We didn't gain 2 acres. 22 some odd acres. And over the course of the years, we've developed this land and we're fortunate enough to have horses and livestock and all the other things that go with having, a large, massive rural area plot. We have chickens and all the other stuff. So it's always time consuming to go out there and fix and mend and repair and build and rinse, repeat, maintenance, all that stuff. And my wife has been working, has had the luxury of working from home for the last, I'm going to say 4 years, because, because of COVID, they were one of the first people outside of like the NBA and stuff, nationally, but they're one of the first companies that said, okay, we're going to have to work from home and this is how we're going to do it. So my wife fortunately has a job where she can work from her desk, and we set up her little office here in the property. And she sits back there and she does her work. And just like a normal business day, she gets up. She's got to be signed on by a certain time. She doesn't take a lunch break. If she does, she eats at her desk. And then, at the end of the day, she has to wrap everything up and send out emails. And unfortunately, for her position, she has to deal with California time. So she's on a little bit later at night. But at least when she's, done at work, 8 o'clock our time, she doesn't have a long drive home. And she can literally just, walk out to the kitchen, make something to eat, and then sit and, watch a TV show or whatever. But now this has been coming down the pipe at her job, saying that I think they made they banged the gavel back in October and said, we're going to have you guys work, 3 days in the office and 2 days at home. So yesterday, because today's Wednesday, and New Year's Day was Monday. So Tuesday was her first day back into a real office space. She's got, 200 employees and all these cubicles. And, she had to go in there and set up everything the week prior, to welcome everyone back. Like the first day of school, welcome kiddies, welcome back to your desk. Yes, this is your desk, tell us your name and where you're from. Because a lot of these people were hired during the whole work from home thing. And this is their first time being back into an office. Some type of cubicle, some type of, you have to drive somewhere to go to work. These people have worked from home. A lot of them, they hired a bunch of people working from home, and now they have to work in an office. I don't know how many they're going to keep, but it's a noble position, the job that people do out there. So hopefully she can maintain at least, an 85% workforce. But here's the problem that I have. Well, there's a couple issues and a problem that I have. Let me get to the problem first, and then I'll deal with some issues that I'm going to have. So when you're asking someone to work from home for so long, for like 3-4 years, right? And then, you have a lifestyle, you have what's expected of you as far as being in an office space or in a home office type deal. And then you ask someone to take exactly what they're doing at their desk at home and transfer that to a total different environment 3 days a week. Not all the days, just 3 days a week. Some people go, well, I wish I could work from home. I can't do roofing from my desk at home. I know, I understand that, but there are positions out there where you can work from home. Is it me? No, this is the only desk job I've ever had is doing radio in some shape or form. And I've done it from home and I've done it from a studio. It's basically the same thing. You got a microphone, you got a monitor, you have odds and end people to deal with, that type stuff. But when you're asking someone to work 3 days from an office, like a brick and mortar building, and then 2 days at home, do you think the work would be consistent? Now, granted, there are rules in place and SOPs. If you've got metrics that you need to meet, yes, those metrics are going to be the same, but it's kind of like working 2 part-time jobs. And I'm just speaking out, just off the top of my head. I go, for me, I think that would be weird doing this and then going somewhere else and doing this for another 2 days somewhere else and then coming back in this studio and doing this again. Now, granted, you're doing the same thing in both studios, but technically, isn't it kind of like having 2 part-time jobs, but you're doing the same thing in the 2 different locations? I would think that some people would have a hard time adjusting to the 3 on and 2 off, and the 2 off being working from home. I don't know. It's just something I thought about. I said that in my mind, I was like, well, that's kind of like, you drive into work, because she works in Charlotte, which is about an hour from where we live, drive time, with traffic and everything. So it's an hour. It's probably 40 miles one direction. But you're asking someone to drive 40 miles 3 days a week to sit at a desk where they were for so many years, depending on when you got hired in. You were doing the same job from your desk. Now, I understand that there's faces, you get to see people's faces. There's more interaction, there's more camaraderie. But it was done. It was done, at least. I'm just speaking from what I see here on our property. And what was the one tech company where they were based out of California, and they hired all these people out throughout the California and the neighboring states and stuff. And they said, okay, if you still want to work here, you have to come into the office. And they lost 85% of their workforce. So now they have to hire locally, and then they probably tell those people to work from home or whatever. But I just thought it would be different. It's a different experience when you have to drive 3 days a week and then stay home 2 days a week and do the same job at both positions. It would be, I don't know if it would be satisfactory to the employee, because I know, granted, all right, you pick one or the other, I guess is what I'm saying. 5 days in the office and then give me my weekends type deal. It's just a weird mindset. And then people say, well, what about a 4-day work week? 4 days in the office and then you have 3 days off at home. And some companies can do that, but you're looking at, 10, 11, 12-hour shifts. Well, we're doing that already, Deacon, when we're working, Monday through Friday. Well, I don't know what to say there. There's schematics and things put in place. The reason why we have to work Monday through Friday, it's your business. Do you rotate schedules, or a rotating schedule where someone has, 5 days and then 4 days and then 5? I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. I just thought it was a weird concept to say, okay, now we're going to do 3 days at home, or 3 days in the office and 2 days at home. And this is your schedule from here on out. So it was just an interesting thing. And we'd like to hear from you. Yes, you can still go over to Prophet Radio, PROPHET Radio, proud sponsors of Deacon Live. And at the bottom of the page says be heard. And you can speak right in that. Speak right into, if you got a microphone or anything on your tablet, smartphone, wherever you got a microphone, you be anonymous if you want, and just speak right into that, and it comes into our inbox. And we are playing. We got a whole bunch of them. Some are interesting. Some are really, really out there. Boy, you guys really nailed it on this one. But we're going to play your predictions from our listening audience. And the way you can do that is to be part of that, is to be on the Be Heard section over at Prophet Radio. All right, guys, lots to talk about, and some of the new laws in 2024 that you might not be aware of that's going to start hitting the books in your state. Will it affect you? We'll find out. So stick around. We'll be right back. You're listening to Deacon Live on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Welcome back to DeaconLive. Make sure you follow us over on YouTube. For every podcast we do, we have a matching video as well. And you can see us in real time as we're talking about the articles here on the show. And some of the articles will have some visuals and stuff, and you can see those as we're talking about them here. So make sure you go and subscribe to DeaconLive podcast over on YouTube as well, and share it with all your friends if you really have a good time over there. We're also doing a whole bunch of what they call shorts over there. I'm seeing a lot more movement on the shorts where they're 1 minute clips, like the best parts of the show. So you can watch the whole entire show, which is great, because there's a lot of when the microphone goes off in between breaks and stuff, or during the breaks and stuff, you can see what goes on here in the studio. And then, like I said, you can see the videos and any of the story articles that we're talking about here on the program. So make sure you like and subscribe over there as well. Now, 2024, you heard a couple predictions there, and but there are a lot more rules coming on the books. And over in New Jersey, this one right here is going to make a whole lot of people happy, but only in New Jersey. Let's see, where do we go? The new year begins with a series of new laws going into effect this Monday throughout the eastern United States. Perhaps the most notable one is the New Jersey bipartisan Seinfeld bill, requiring the Garden State telemarketers to provide name, mailing address, and telephone number of the company in which they are working with in the first 30 seconds of the conversation. This bill was inspired by, which is the inspiration for the Senate bill 921's nickname was inspired by the 1992 episode on the sitcom Seinfeld, which the comedian Jerry Seinfeld fields a call from a telemarketer asking that person's name and number so he can bother him later on in the same fashion, and when the caller can bother them at home in the same fashion that the caller is inconveniencing him as well. Lawmakers cited that the overwhelming number of scams targeting seniors by phone when the bill was signed into law in May. The bill prohibits solicitors from phoning residents between 9 p.m. and 8 a.m. So I guess what they're saying is, in this bill, if they don't say anything, as far as what did I say? Their name, mailing address, telephone number of the company which they're working for in the first 30 seconds, they could be violating this bill. What the violation is, I don't know, because think about it. Most of these calls come from overseas or like little panic rooms in, third world countries, because you can hear them in the background. You can hear it's some abandoned warehouse. And are they going to follow the rules? No, you have to tell the telemarketers that aren't following the rules anyways that this bill happens. But I guess it's other companies within New Jersey, or if you're going to call a New Jersey number, if you're just a regular robocaller, I guess it's how they're going to. I don't know how they're going to enforce that, but they're going to. I guess they're going to find out. Maybe they should look into just stopping them altogether. How about that? Just stopping them. But I guess when it comes like to political times, hey, this is blah, blah, blah. Vote for me. This is my phone number. This is my mailing address. So maybe they're working on that. That's the 1% of the phone calls that I get, every 2 to 4 years, whenever there's a voting cycle. Now, some of the new things that are passing in the state of New Jersey, by the way, since we're on that state right there, a newly enacted legislation in New Jersey means that many working people with minimum wage jobs will see an hourly wage jump to $15.13. So minimum wage in New Jersey goes to $15.13. In New York, someone who's earning minimum wage will get a $1 an hour raising, bringing their earnings to $16 an hour. The minimum wage is also going up in Connecticut thanks to legislation passed in 2019. Workers earning $15 an hour will get now $15.69 starting New Year's Day. Can you imagine that little bump and increase there? Connecticut residents also looking to subsidize their incomes by collecting bottles can now get a dime rather than a nickel for each container they collect over in Connecticut. Now, here's a couple more rules that are going into effect in several different states around the United, around here. Among the notable state laws taking effect in early 2024 is the Texas public colleges must comply with newly signed state laws banning diversity, equity, and inclusion offices on their campuses. So let's see what that rule is. It's the the DEI ban. I don't understand what that is. Let's find out. Let's do a little research and find out. What's the DEI ban? One of the most controversial laws in Texas legislation has been in session is take effect on Monday, banning diversity, equity, and inclusion of. All right. So what's the problem with the DE ban? Opponents of the DEI are concerned that the emphasis on equity on the terms of the outcomes will overlook individual merits and qualifications. In addition, opponents subject to identity politics argue that the DEI initiatives create divisions among racial and ethnic groups, undermining a sense of unity in society. So they're banning the DEI ban in Texas, and the move comes with a Republican-driven backlash over the original the original laws, which was sharpening politics, business, and academics. Here's another one. In California, will officially mandate general neutral toy aisles for large retailers. The blue state became the first in the nation in 2021 to adopt such law. The state law requires that retail stores with 500 or more workers must sell toys and child care products exclusive to clothing to gender neutral sections that's labeled as labeled at the discretion of the retailers regarding whether they have been traditionally marked for either girls or boys. Retailers can continue to offer other toys and child care goods traditionally marked with specifically toward boys or girls. So they have to have a generic boy or girl aisle. So what are those toys? Bicycles? Well, I mean, bicycles are designed basically for man or boy or girl. Legos could be boy or girl. They're mostly for boys. They do have a girl lineup of Legos. I think it's not doing as well. What are gender neutral toys? A ball. It's just gonna be a whole aisle of balls. Well, no, the balls are for boys. All right, got it. So I don't know. It's gonna be all these muted toys. I don't know what a gender neutral a gender neutral toy is. I don't know what that is. But they're supposed to have an aisle full of toys with, you say pots and pans. Well, that's for women. I mean, then you misogynistic and all that other stuff. So there you go. And let's see what else is going on. What other new rules are going to happen? The wider access to birth control. Let's see. HRA Pharma Opill will become available at drugstores, convenience stores, after the Food and Drug Administration last year approved of its first daily birth control to be sold without a prescription. Increased availability, which expects to reduce barriers accessing the contraceptives, was seen as a post-Roe, Roe versus Wade game changer. Yes, but the number of states, including Montana and Nevada, are allowing people to access extended supply of birth control as well. Back to New Jersey, they will join the dozen of states allowing pharmacists and to administer self-administrative hormone contraceptives without a prescription. Unintended pregnancies are linked to an unmet need for contraceptive, the CDC says. Experts has hoped that the FDA moves to help lower this rate. Then here we go. In Illinois, became the first state to pass a law penalizing libraries that banned books last year, as conservative efforts to have mounted to restrict the access to text that often addresses race or the LGBTQ plus community. The bill now in effect takes public libraries ineligible for state funding if they ban materials because of partisan or doctrinal disapproval. Of more than 1,400 reported books banned last year, 74% were connected to organized efforts and advocacy groups, elected officials, and enacted legislation. Per the PEN America, who gave us this information, the organization recommends that the policymakers, school boards, and district administrators consider the many reasons for including and celebrating books rather than restricting them, which I agree altogether. Now, here you go. Minimum wage, all you hardworking people out there going back into the office. For the Americans making minimum wage, it is an automatic raise. minimum wage increases in 22 states. This also ripples out. Typical increase wage. Let's see, hold on. Typically, increasing the wage floor for the lowest earners pushes up the pay for all those who make a little bit more than minimum wage, as employees have just adjusted their pay scale upward. Three more states and Washington, D.C. are set to raise the wage later on this year. Stricter gun legislation in Michigan, a Democratic-led Senate-approved package last year, increased the regulations of gun ownership for residents in an effort to reduce gun violence. Well, Michigan, you got a lot more stuff going on over there. Among gun safety proposals were safe storage laws, more expansive background checks, and the so-called red flag. In California, the law banning concealed weapons in most public places are allowed to take effect on January 1st after federal appeal courts stayed in lower court ruling had blocked it. Then here's one right here. In Minnesota, drivers can now opt for a blackout license plate. Other new designs celebrated groups, professional teams, recognition of missing or murdered indigenous relatives. But what is a blackout license plate? So let's get a little bit more information on that. So the Minnesota's new blackout license plate will be available to purchase in January. It essentially just has, if you're looking at it here on the video here, it just says Minnesota written in white, the letters, your traditional letters, the date, 1,000 Lakes, and it's just a black, whoops, thank you, pop-up. It's just a black plate with white lettering. It's completely neutral. There you go. There's your gender neutral toy right there. It's a blackout license plate. So that's what they're doing over there. Some of these rules, I'm sure there's a lot more on the books that they kind of tag to everyone and kind of hid underneath the, underneath the script of whatever the actual bill is. They call them riders. We want gun control. By the way, all cars have to be blue. They kind of sneak that in there type deal. All right, guys, when we come back, this girl right here got famous for talking about how she can't hold down or doesn't want to work her 9-to-5 job. And they made a news story about it, so we're going to dive into her problem. What's her deal, right? So stick around. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back.
Hi, I want to put in my New Year's prediction for 2024 on things that's going to happen. The rise of a 4-day work week. Since now it's the first of the year, people are going back to their offices. I think they're going to figure out that we need a 4-day work week. Whether it be an 8-hour day or 4 10-hour days, I hope it's less than that because I don't want to work anymore. But I have to work. All right, thank you.
Hey, this is Adrian De La Cruz, and I'm from West Liberty, West Virginia. And one thing that I think they're going to happen in 2024 is teleportation. I saw it on the news the other day, and it looked really cool as far as they're able to teleport cells to another cells. I think that's the direction we're going in. So hopefully that'll happen.
Oh, hello. My name is, do I need to put my name? I guess so, to make this official. My name's April Wang, and I'm from East Lake, or what they call Orient Park in Florida. My prediction for 2024 here on the Deacon Live show is we're going to do quantum fortune tellers. The traditional fortune tellers, there's no more of them anymore. They're going to use quantum fortune tellers to predict, and future tapping the mysteries of the quantum mechanics. So brace yourself for mind-bending predictions if you can get a hold of them. And you can reach me at 1-800-407-946-3121.
More sustainable packaging through Amazon and UPS and all that stuff. We need to do better.
Welcome back to Deacon Live. You want something for free? Well, we'll give you something for free. You got to do me a favor, though. You have to go to Prophet Radio, PROPHET radio.com. Proud sponsors of Deacon Live. Go over there at the top of the page. It says free swag. There's a little drop-down menu. You can see all the different shows that are broadcasted here out of the Prophet Radio studio. Pick yourself out a little prize pack. We'll send it out to you. It's not an email grab or anything like that. They just want to say thank you for supporting us over the last, I think I looked it up. It was 2007. Prophet Radio started somewhere. Small little basement. And look, now we got a bigger basement. But go on over there and we'll get yourself something for free, and they'll send it out to you right away. I know you missed all the stocking stuffers and whatnot, but you know what? My birthday, actually, you can get me something for my birthday. My birthday's this Saturday, actually. Holy Jesus! Seems like just the other day. Seems like just last year I had a birthday, but there you go. So get yourself something for free over there, and that will be a great birthday gift if you guys do that. Now, this guy's not getting a birthday gift, at least anytime soon with these guys. These guys and those guys. There was a show many years ago, I remember when, called 90210. And one of the guys on there, his name was Ian Ziering. For some reason, he's the worst actor. I'm sorry. I used to watch that as a kid. And I was like going, this guy does not fit with the rest of the troupe. He was always like the outcast and stuff. But maybe I was too young to see that was his actual character. But anyways, you know him from Sharknado as well. But he really hasn't done much career-wise, notable career-wise. Until now, actually. So I'm going to switch to camera 4. And don't forget, for every podcast we do, we have a matching video. You can see all this in real time as we're talking about it here on the show. So here we go. Ian Ziering was attacked by a group of bikers. Now, when I say bikers, I'm not talking about, Harley Davidson, the 1%er type guys. And I'm not talking about these guys that ride like the four-wheelers and stuff. This was a group of miniature, like almost moped type bikers. And I'm going to play this video, and you can see this in real time as we're talking about it here on the air. He got the shit beat out of him. Now, he's a big guy from my understanding. I think he's like 6'3", pretty fit guy. So here we go. Here's the video. Yeah, you can see all the little scooters. They're like little 50 cc's. Oh, there he is. Now, hold on a minute, because I got an update. He gives a statement. He gets out of his car and kicks one of the bikers. He kicks him. Here we go. Watch real quick. Right here. Kicks him. Kicks him, pushes him. Uh-oh. Nope. Now here comes everyone else. Oh, now you got your hands full there, Ian. Now you got your hand. Here comes the 605. I'm out of here. Get off of me. He's running across the street. Get off my car. He's kicking him. I'm trying to get out of here. Watch my car. Watch my guy filming the video. Kick his ass. So here it is in slow motion. He kicks and pushes the one guy. And he's like, yeah, I got you. Well, guess what? He's dealing with about 4 or 5, if not, 15 of them at least. They all come. One guy runs into him with his motorcycle. So there's a video. So let me explain to you, poor guy. Ian Ziering breaks his silence after, let me switch back to camera 1. Ian Ziering breaks his silence after a violent, quote-unquote, altercation with bikers caught on tape. Ian Ziering says he has emerged completely unscathed, he says, becoming ensnared in a physical altercation with a group of bikers in Los Angeles on New Year's Eve. In the statement shared on Instagram, isn't that nice of him for his fans? The actor said he and his 12-year-old daughter, Mia, were unhurt in the headline-making brawl, which was partially documented by TMZ. So there you go. This is what he says. Yesterday, I experienced an alarming incident involving a group of individuals on mini bikes. While stuck in traffic, my car was approached aggressively by one of these riders, leading to an unsettling confrontation. All right, ChatGPT. In the attempt to access any damage, I exited my car. This action, unfortunately, escalated into a physical altercation, which I navigated to protect myself. You tried to kick the guy and punch the guy in the head, dipshit. Though Ziering wasn't injured in the incident, the incident has left them deeply concerned about the growing boldness such as groups who disrupt public safety and peace. So the situation highlights a larger issue in hooliganism hooliganism. Let's take that one. Take two. On the streets and its need for an effective law enforcement response in such behavior. No, you can't. California can't even keep the drug addicts off the street. You want them to do the motorcycle thing too? He continues by saying, as a citizen and a parent, I find it unacceptable that the groups can freely engage in this type of behavior, causing fear and chaos, while the response from the authority seems to be inefficient. So, well, don't get out the car and start swinging on people, Ian. How about that? How about be an example to your kid? How about get out and go, hey, I'm going to call the cops. You done in my car, that type of deal. There are laws put in place. Let's follow the laws, follow the laws, and then you won't get blasted on TMZ because you ran away like a fucking pussy. Pussy. I would have taken them all. You saw in the video, he's like 6'3", and all these guys are like maybe 5'10", 5'9", maybe, with their shoes on, sitting on the motorcycle. Now, as 2024 gets on their way, Gen Z and millennials who want to work in 2024, let's see, what does it say? This is how Gen Z and millennials want to work in 2024. Lazy girl jobs, bare minimum Mondays, and less and less and less. So I'm going to switch back to camera 4. So don't forget, for every podcast, we do have a matching video. You can see this in real time as we're talking about it here. As the year 2024 gets on their way, millions of workers are heading back to their 9-to-5 jobs after the holiday break. Quiet quitting, lazy girl jobs, and bare minimum Mondays are the trend on social media, still floating by many members of the Gen Z and millennials. We just don't want to follow the traditional employee standards. So here's a little video from Fox News Channel. So here we go.
Called Bare Minimum Monday that I've been doing for the past several weeks.
A lazy girl job is...
Now, these are all people on TikTok, stating, what they're doing and how they're combating this 9-to-5 work schedule. So here we go.
With this thing for myself called Bare Minimum Monday that I've been doing for the past several weeks.
A lazy girl job is something that you can basically quiet quit.
The 9-to-5 schedule in general is crazy.
So this girl right here, that girl, the last one you heard, we're going to talk about her in just one sec, but let's see what they have to say about that.
Crazy. Gen Z and millennial workers sure challenged their bosses this past year.
So how should employers respond in 2024? Ramsey Solutions career coach Ken Coleman joins us now. Ken is a father of 2 daughters, 18 and 22. I'm just going to reserve my own comments. How should parents and employers deal with this?
Well, they need to understand that they've got to mentor and coach these young employees. It's not as simple as just they show up and they know what to do. And that's on the parents, by the way. So we parents have to be careful on what we say because we collectively have allowed this environment. But the key here is you're going to have to coach these younger employees more than you have any previous generation. Right. And that's leadership. So welcome to the game.
And Ken, the thing is, a lot of these young Americans, over the last 3 years, have been under COVID rules where they work from home and stuff like that. The 4-day work week is probably going to be a thing.
Called it. I called it.
It absolutely is going to be a thing. I don't know when, but it's been tested for a 6-month trial in London, England, and it came out pretty conclusive that productivity did not dip. It's also being tested in the United States as well. So I think that's going to be industry specific, and I think it's going to be leader specific. What I mean by that is you can't just shove 5 days of work into 4 days without some systems, and it's got to be advantageous to that specific industry. So we'll see how that develops.
I mean, Ken, it's funny to watch those clips. It's funny, we watched the girl who's crying because she has to work
Bare Minimum Monday.
And this girl's talking about taking breaks and working, overextending yourself for minimal pay. We all did it. So we all think the way we did it was the best way. And so when we look at the next generation, we're worried about them. But do they have it all figured out? I mean, we did all work.
Maybe we did it wrong.
Maybe we did it wrong because they're saying 38% of Gen Zers would rather have a middle-class life if they can work fewer than 40 hours. There is something to be said for that.
Dolly Parton got it right.
Yeah. Working 9 to 5.
Yeah, I think
Shut up,
I think
dumbass.
This is a very good point. Two things are happening here. Number one, what we see on TikTok does not represent the entire generation. I think we've got to be careful to paint this generation with a broad brush. I'm raising 3 Gen Zers right now. Here's what I think. I think that there are a lot of young people that will work hard and will bust it and get after it. But the second phenomenon you mentioned, Ainsley, is very interesting. I do think this generation has watched their parents and their grandparents work all the time, never turn it off, and that means working after hours. And I think because of that, they're saying, I don't want that life.
Sure.
I think that's the result there.
Ken, did you say you had 3 Gen Zers at your house?
I do, yeah.
Are you
a
doing
senior,
dry
sophomore,
January?
and a freshman.
Are you doing dry January?
I am, as a matter of fact.
Good for you.
Wow.
God bless you.
All right. Good. Ken Coleman.
So there you go. So they were talking about, maybe they've got it figured out right. And, I understand, hey, we've been doing this. I've watched my mom and dad work, long nights and provide for family. Now the family's just me. It's not like, we had 5 kids. The one guy said he had 3 Gen Zers. I'm going to switch back to camera 1 on me. And, but my mom worked very hard. My dad worked just as hard as well. But their work concept, I didn't see them a whole lot. My mom said I didn't want to raise a latchkey kid. Now I'm a kid I was born in the 70s, grew up in the 80s, and then came into my own in the early 90s. So I guess I'm what do they call it, Gen X. So the Gen Zs and stuff are now coming into their own. And, the millennials are coming into their own, and they're realizing that, hey, I don't want to have to go through what I saw my parents or even grandparents go through. Now, the one girl that they were talking about that was crying, saying, I can't do this job. This is so much. Her name is Brielle. Here we go with these names. Asero, Asero. She blew up online. And here's an update on her. She blew up online when she started a tearful recreation of her first job out of college. Now, she says she was laid off from her role, and it's not optimistic about finding another role. So what happened was this college graduate who blew up online struggles with the working life, as announced on a TikTok that she's just recently been laid off. In October, the 21-year-old Brielle Acero went mega viral and made headlines when she posted her tearful video calling out the struggles of working 9 to 5 in the culture she was experiencing for the first time. In the upload, which has received 3.4 million views as of to date, she had recently stated a corporation position in the New York area said that the office life and the commute meant that she had no time or energy by the time she got off work and got home. Well, duh. I'm sorry. I understand, you're not swinging a hammer all day long. And the video has mixed reactions, some criticizing her take, while many came to her defense. Okay. Let's meet those people as well and see what they're doing. They called out similar issues with working a 40-hour work week. At the time, she told Business Insider in an email stating that she was very grateful to have a job, but that it is discouraging and understandable why Americans are burnout and mental illness are at higher levels. Now, you can't do the burnout and mental illness. Mental illness doesn't come from working a 9 to 5 job, all right? Now, mental illness is something that happens to you chemically, so I don't know if you can link those two together. I don't think that's a fair statement to say. On December 16th, she posted once again on TikTok saying that she had been laid off from her role and said that she had taken her 5 months to find, and she was laid off from her role, which she said had taken her 5 months to find, and then she had to move to New York City for this job. Well, then you know what? If it took you 5 months and you had to move to this place, you think you'd be a little bit better respectful for the position that you got. Oh, I don't want to. I got my dream job. You want me to do what? For how long? For how much? I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to be an adult. So she got laid off. Well, maybe she'll have a new job as a TikTok person. So here's her actual video. So I'm gonna play this. Just to show you that I'm not kidding. I'm not screwing around here. Either is she. So here she is, right here.
First post-grad job, and the one that took me 5 months to find that I moved to New York City for. Basically, It's not my fault before we start. I worked for a startup and they didn't have the workload or the bandwidth that they needed to train me and to give me work to do. Like I wasn't doing anything that I was hired to do, and I was really wanting to learn. So I was thinking in my head that I wanted a job with more responsibilities anyways, but come January 2nd, I need a new job and I don't have one. I even told most of my friends, if I post this, it's because I actually thought it through. Getting laid off before the holidays, that means the hiring processes stop right before Christmas, and then they go all the way till January 2nd, and then
all the
they
way
pick back up. And it's still going to probably
she's one of those
process to hire and onboard for a new job. So that's the time frame I'm looking at, and I can't wait that long. I need a job immediately. The job that I was working 9 to 5 from, I wasn't making enough to live. I don't have a savings because of that job. Like the salaries that people are making with a degree right now after college is just not okay. We're working so much, and I still don't have an emergency fund.
You just started. You're 21. You're 21. You're 21. You're not supposed to have any savings. You're supposed to be broke. You're not supposed to be these influencers unless you started like when you were 13, rating toys or video games or something like that. You're not there yet. This is part. I hate to say this. This is part of life. This is part of the journey of life. This is not part of life. This is part of the journey of life. I want to make that clear. There are two different things. The journey of life is the decisions and the risk and the things that you take make up the journey that you call life. I can go this way and hang out with my friends till all hours of the night, 7 days a week, and we can party down at the end of the day, at the end of the month, at the end of the year, at the end of, whatever my 20s, 30s, 40s. Do I have anything to show for it? No. So I don't choose that path. I'll choose it now and then, but then the path on the left-hand side goes, if you, focus and you do your job, and if you really like your job, and if you find something you're really interested in, and you continue that path and continue that career, and you focus on hard work, and you can be anything. Christ almighty, TikTok has proven you can be anything that you want to be as long as you put in the work to do it. You can't sit on your ass, well, for most of them, you can't sit on your ass and be famous. You can't sit on your, if that's what you want to do, if that's the career, you can't sit on your ass and say, give me some money. You have to figure out what you want to do, figure out a way to make good money doing it, and then you're good to go. You went to college. Obviously, you had some kind of path in life. I wanted to do, let's say she's a pretty girl, young girl, 21 years old. She worked for what did she say, internet startup company. All right, you have to understand, internet startup companies aren't what they were back in the 90s, even the early 2000s. So when, you ask a kid in the early 60s and 70s, I want to be a fireman. Well, yes, you can do that. The kids today don't want to be a fireman because it's not, I don't know, for some of them, it's not part of their thing. It's not I don't know where I'm going on spiral out of this conversation, but still, they're seeing what's around them, and they all of a sudden want to do that, and they're finding out that it takes a little bit of work, a little bit of elbow grease, a little bit of hard labor, physical and mental as well, to achieve some kind of financial status doing that. All right, guys, stick around. I know. And back in my day, when we come back, Nostradamus, remember that guy from like 15 BC or somewhere around there? I don't know. They make up his name or made up his date when he was born. He got the first prediction of 2024 right. And I'll read you what he said, and I'll compare it to what actually happened, and tell me if you believe that he actually predicted this. So stick around. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Deacon Live. Don't forget, if you want to be heard, just like all those predictions that have come in here to the studio, go over to Prophet Radio, proud sponsors of Deacon Live. That's prophet.com or prophetradio.com. Let me make sure I throw the radio in there. You're going to end up on some religious website if you don't do that. You don't want to do that. And go over to the little Be Heard Blee Blue. It's a blue bar at the very bottom of the page. I believe it is. Sometimes it pops around and stuff, but it's a blue bar. It's got a little microphone that says Be Heard. Click on that. Opens up our microphone on whatever device you're listening to us on or at. If you got a microphone on it, speak right into it. You can be anonymous if you want. It comes right to our inbox, and we'll play it on this podcast or the very next podcast as well. You can say anything you like. Ask us anything that you like. Just be part of the program, and that's how you can do that, by being Be Heard. Now, I love sleep. Let's put it that way. I love sleep. I like
there was a bed. We took a vacation to Savannah, Georgia, and we stayed at a little like Airbnb. It was a big hotel. Actually, it was someone's house. I mean, huge, Savannah, classic homes, antique homes. And they just kind of subdivided it up, and they said, okay, this is a room, this is a room, this is a room. The best bed, second best bed I've ever slept in outside of my own bed. And when I say that, the first best bed that I've ever slept in was in Costa Rica over at, I think it was La Ventura over in Costa Rica. We had this little 2-story glass. It was all glass front looking at the volcano out there. And in the rainforest, it was beautiful. And the bed was so perfect. It was like nice and hard, nice and firm. It cuddled you in the right places. The second bed was this bed that we slept on in Savannah. It was like sleeping on a cloud. And I actually was like looking for the label. I'm like going, I want this bed. What's wrong with our bed? I don't know. This one I slept really, really good in. She couldn't stand it. She was like, oh, that's too soft for me. No. The porridge is too hot. But I also take, sometimes if I have a problem going to sleep, melatonin. Now, melatonin doesn't mix too well. Like if you have like a couple nightcaps or something before you go to bed and you take melatonin, you always wake up and you're always like, my eyes are all puffy. I've dragging ass and I can't do that. I got too much to do in the morning. And my body, my internal clock always goes off at 7 o'clock anyway. So I'm like, I can't sleep in. I got to get up. Got to do all this stuff. The horses and the chickens and all that's going on here on our property. But now what they're saying, because of TikTok, magnesium supplements are becoming more increasingly popular because of the social media. Many people are swearing by taking magnesium daily to aid with sleep, anxiety, and even constipation, which may leave you wondering, what's the best time to take magnesium? I don't know if you've seen all these videos. They say magnesium citricate, which makes you poop. It's in a bottle. It's like not castor oil, but what's the one where they used to put it in the cartoon's mouth and they put it in there, and I think it was castor oil, might have been that. But magnesium citricate, which is basically a laxative, but there's all these other different magnesium. I don't know which one to take. But more than half adults in the United States take a dietary supplements regularly, according to United States Center of Disease Control and Prevention. However, researchers have shown that vitamins that people take every day may not be doing much to make us healthier. Magnesium is one of the most abundant minerals in your body and is involved in more than 300 chemical reactions that help your body function properly. Here's what to know about the magnesium supplement and all the videos that you're seeing on TikTok. Who should be taking them, and is it safe for everyday use? Magnesium is essential nutrition for our body that our bodies need to function. Magnesium plays a role in managing blood sugar and pressure, ensuring nerves and muscles work properly, and strengthening bones. I told you about the one lady on TikTok that I've been watching her and then listening to her. I don't know if she's a doctor or not. I think I was reading somewhere where she was kicked out of the medical industry because of her views on all this natural stuff that she's been taking. I'll tell you what, I've been putting cayenne pepper in my drink. And my drink consists of, if you're watching this here on the YouTube video, my drink here in the sippy cup is basically a couple tablespoons of lemon juice, cayenne pepper, and then a couple electrolytes. And then I fill it up with filtered water from the refrigerator. And that's my everyday drink that I go to all day long. No sodas, nothing like that. But then when I get into the real stuff, this guy comes into play. Magnesium also helps regulating heart rhythm, protein synthesis, and energy production. Amber Somers, a registered dietitian nutritionist at the Cleveland Clinic, tells USA Today, I'm sorry, who cares? It is very, very important for magnesium, and we need quite a bit of it. Studies have shown that getting enough magnesium is associated with the reduce of high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, according to the NIH, may lower the risk of osteoporosis, reducing frequent migraines, but they say more research is needed. So how much actual magnesium do you need? The daily intake or recommended dietary allowance for magnesium varies by age and sex. For adults, 400 to 420 milligrams for males and 310 to 320 milligrams for females. The upper limit of magnesium supplement is 350 milligrams per day. The upper limit for supplements is lower than the recommended daily amount because a lot of our stuff, magnesium, comes from food and other sources. So you're like, all right, so where do I get other magnesium? I don't want to OD on magnesium. Magnesium is also found in legumes, dark green leafy vegetables, nuts and seeds, especially pumpkin seeds, whole grains, fish, poultry, beef, milk, yogurt, and fortified cereals. However, it's important to know that the body only absorbs about 30 to 40% of the dietary magnesium that a person consumes. So this may be challenging for some people to get enough of its nutrition from their diet. An additional, let's see, what happens if you have a deficiency? If you have, let's see, over time, magnesium deficiency can worsen and produce more notable symptoms, according to experts, which includes nausea, fatigue, numbness, muscle cramps, constipation, brain fog, and severe cases of seizures and heart problems such as abnormal heart rhythms. So, is it okay to take magnesium every day? Yes, it's generally safe for most people to take magnesium supplement as long as you stay within the recommended balance or allotted amount. So I think I'm going to start taking magnesium at night just to see, because that melatonin, I don't know. The melatonin craze, I think, is going away. If this magnesium works for me, I'm going to start doing that because melatonin really doesn't, if you don't know what melatonin is, your body produces it naturally. That's what actually makes you go to sleep. But if you're supplementing your melatonin and you're taking it physically, does your body quit making melatonin and expects you to wait for this pill that dissolves underneath your tongue? It's like, oh, I don't have to do this because you're already taking it for me. And then you get off the melatonin and then you're wide awake every night. And you see all the things on Facebook at 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm wide awake. I'm wide awake. I'm wide awake. I'm wide awake. And for me, melatonin only works in 4-hour shifts. I sleep really good for 4 hours and then I'm awake for 2 hours. So I'm going to try the magnesium before I go to bed and see what happens there. Now, this guy right here, take it for what he's worth. One of Nostradamus' most terrifying predictions came true in the first few hours of 2024. It was literally a groundbreaking prophecy, as Nostradamus' foretellings weren't eerily accurate enough. The iconic astrologer, who apparently right on the money with yet another apocalyptic prophecy just hours into 2024 because of the New Year's Day earthquake. Now, if you haven't heard about this, I'll explain it. So the first time, the Frenchman was credited for forecasting a powerful earthquake that rocked Japan New Year's Day. Outlining his predictions in 2024, the oracle wrote, "The dry earth will become more parched and there will be a great floods." So the psychic followers reckon that he could have been referring to the 7.5 magnitude tremor that shook the nation's west coast in Japan around 4 p.m., killing 48 people, toppling buildings, and sparking a 3-foot tsunami. Is that 3 foot? 3-foot high tsunami. 3 foot high? I've surfed bigger waves than that. Come on. Sir. Yeah, it's a Keanu Reeves thing there. According to reports, residents in the coastal communities fled to higher ground as the waves battered the coast, sweeping houses into cars. Currently, there are about 120 cases of people waiting to be rescued. The government spokesman reported here earlier. In response, the officials dispatched 3,000-strong search and rescue squads comprised of Army personnel, firefighters, and police officers to the disaster site on the Noto Peninsula of the Iwakawa prefecture. So Nostradamus' prediction was apparently not only the harboring. Nostradamus' prediction was apparently not the only harbinger of seismic calamity. Over the summers, here's what happens. Not only was his prediction what led to the tsunami over in Japan, Over the summer, divers in Taiwan encountered a large injured giant oarfish called, quote unquote, the doomsday fish, which said it's to be a sign of an impending earthquake. The seismic superstition based on the Japanese mythology, which states that a plankton eater, which lives between 600 and which lives between 600 and 3,200 feet below the ocean surface, will potentially rise to the surface ahead of the incoming tremors. In retrospect, many Doomsday subscribers believe that this latest sighting was connected to the New Year's Eve earthquake. The legend is that if you see an oarfish or doomsday fish, it's a warning sign from a higher power that disasters of an earthquake are such to occur. So they saw this. Here's if you want to see the fish there. Oh, it's a weird looking fish. You're watching this on the video. Hey, look at me. I'm next to the doomsday fish. Hello. Get my picture. Run for your life. No. I paid for this. I want this picture. So they found this doomsday fish, and then the tides ended up battering Japan and killing a bunch of people. Oh, my God. But, I mean, Nostradamus' predictions are kind of wishy-washy. He doesn't really give, like, dates. He just kind of goes, and the sky will go black. And then in 12 hours, the sky will go light again. All right, well, that's the sun rising and setting. All right, we got that. You have to take him with a grain of salt. And when we come back, did you know that Fat Joe was on Ozempic? Well, they thought this female actress was Fat Joe. And I'll tell you who that is when we come back. So stick around. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back.
Giant bugs are super cool. Imagine having these huge pet beetles that you can ride on. Bug adventures would be the best, like a bug princess or something.
Hello, my name is Diana Nash, and I'm from St. Augusta, Minnesota. And my New Year's prediction is that they're going to have robot pizza deliveries, like drones and stuff. The delivery drivers out where we're at, we can't get pizza. So I think it'd be really, really cool if we had the drone pizza delivery. That'll take off first. So watch us, guys, for those ultimate pizza parties.
This is Gary from Madison, Wisconsin. I think AI news anchors will invade waiting rooms like at airports and doctors' offices. In short, there exists a subspace dimension of streaming services watched by, from what I can tell, no one.
Hi, I'm Herman Weber. I'm from Heston, Kansas City, and my New Year's prediction on the Deacon Live podcast is we are going to have floating farms in the sky. As land becomes scarce, agriculture will take to the skies. They're going to figure out a way to do that, producing crops without taking up valuable ground space. So you're going to see a whole lot of on top of plants on top of plants on top of plants, instead of just planting them straight into the ground. You're going to see all these big sky-rise houses, buildings that are just made for plants. Thank you.
Welcome back to Deacon Live. Make sure you follow us on all your social networks. And the way you do that is go over to Prophet Radio, PROPHET Radio. You can see the little section that says social contacts. You can see all the stuff that links us to you and you to us as well. Make sure you follow us on YouTube. Make sure you follow us on Facebook. Make sure you like and subscribe to us over on TikTok as well. We do post a whole bunch of videos, little short-length videos over on TikTok as well. And it's mostly all the different shows that happen here on Prophet Radio. And while you're over at Prophet Radio, get yourself something for free under the free swag section. Pick out something over there. They got magnets and stickers from all the different excellent podcasts that are produced in this studio. Pick yourself out something and make sure you kind of check those podcasts out as well. You'd be interesting to see, or there might be something that interests you over there if you're looking for a new podcast to listen to outside of Deacon Live. And also, you can be heard as well. Click on Be Heard. Speak right into that. You can be podcast famous. Now, someone who's been famous for the early mid-90s, and then all of a sudden the Amazon came and friggin' wrecked this company. is Best Buy. I used to live and die by Best Buy. I used to go up there all the time and see what they had going on. And then Amazon quit selling books and started selling everything under the moon and kind of put Best Buy out of business for the most part. Now you can still buy stuff online from them, but I went into a local Best Buy here. And when I say a local Best Buy, we live in a small little town. We have about 2,500 people. So they're not building like this huge, 50, 60,000 square foot Best Buy. It's actually part of a strip mall. I kid you not. We have a small little strip mall in this local area, and there's like a Belk, like a clothing store type deal. A whole bunch of little like hat stores and triple OG clothing stores. And then there's a Best Buy. But the Best Buy is kind of like maybe 2,000 square feet. And all they have in this Best Buy by my location is flat screen TVs, cell phones, and cables, like for your cell phones, tablets. That's it. Best Buy at one time had like vacuum cleaners and washers and dryers. Now this is just one of those, if you want to go over there and touch the TV and go, okay, that one looks good. And then I'm going to go across the street to Walmart because your prices are completely insane over at Best Buy. Well, right now, Best Buy is taking a turn in 2024, and they're trying to do better. I don't know what they're going to do. Maybe they're lowering prices or getting better stuff. But as of this article right now, Best Buy has recently launched a new mail-in electronics recycling program, making it easier for everyone, for customers to dispose of their unwanted tech in an environmentally responsible way. Now, let me tell you something, Best Buy. Before I get to this article, there's already something in our local community here. We have a landfill dump about probably 15 miles down the road, and they have a bin for any electronics. Like if you have old CTR monitors, if you've got old printers, if you've got old cell phones. Now, you're not going to throw a cell phone away. Those are always valuable to someone. But if you just got like technology stuff and you want to throw them away, they have a place for it, and it's completely free. This innovative initiative offers a hassle-free solution through Best Buy for recycling electronics that expands upon Best Buy's existing in-store recycling program, catered to a wider audience. So here's the scoop. With the Best Buy mail-in recycling program, customers can purchase, hear me out, purchase a prepaid box in two sizes, small for $23, which supports about 6 pounds of unwanted electronics, or a medium for $30, which can support up to 15 pounds. The other tech companies, including Apple and HP, offer similar programs, but boxes come with tape, instructions, and prepaid labels, streamlining the process and making it convenient for the users. How is this helping? Well, the mail-in recycling benefits customers in the environmental safety ways, is what the article says. It saves time for customers who might not have access to a Best Buy store or prefer not to visit one. I like how they threw that in there, a little dig at Best Buy. The program serves as an alternative to the more expensive haul away program, which costs about $200 per trip, or 20% off your Best Buy Total Tech subscribers, or 20% off if you're if you've got like a big office building and you're a Best Buy Total Tech subscriber, you get 20% off. Like I said, there is dumps and landfills and recycling centers already. All you have to do is drop it off. All you have to do is physically drive there. You physically have to get out of your car, walk to the back of your vehicle, and drop this off. Now, like I said, if you've got a large company and you completely downside, like maybe that startup company that the lazy girl got fired from, or laid off, maybe that company has to get rid of all their servers and stuff. No, most of that stuff you can recycle unless it's completely like in a fire or something. This new program from Best Buy was designed for small electronics like cables, mouses, keyboard mouses, what they should say, keyboards, web cameras, landline phones, robot vacuum cleaners, CDs, and DVD drives, which are more challenging to recycle. So this is what everyone's saying about this new program that's come out. Not everyone loves the idea of paying for boxes, though. In the post, not everyone is excited about paying for the boxes, though. Okay. Seems expensive, but I guess because of shipping, one user wrote, if recycling of stuff is to become more the norm, it needs to not cost substantially more than throwing it away in your regular trash can. Okay, but you have to understand, a lot of the stuff that you recycle doesn't get recycled. I hate to say it. Another user wrote that Goodwill will also take electronics for recycling. And they said, after I have a letter from my city that will take them off your hands, and my city isn't even 6,000 people. So there are other things set in place. So if you want to do the Best Buy recycling, and if you want to, go through paying $15, and you still have to, are they picking it up? I don't know if they're picking it up. I'm not taking it anywhere. If I'm paying $15, somebody better come to my house and pick this goddamn thing up, whether it be UPS or FedEx or DHL, if you can find those guys. Now, someone who's been in and out of the news for a long time, at least for the last 2 years, is, well, Jada Pinkett Smith. And the only reason why I bring her up is because there's a whole new realm of weight loss stuff that's out there. And with Wegovy, Ozempic, there are people that are dropping weight left and right. Oprah says, her latest weight loss is from a quote unquote helpful injection that she gets. Now, of course, she's not sponsored by, whatever it is, or she would have said Ozempic or Wegovy. She just says, I've had some help losing some weight. Now, Jada Pinkett Smith, and I'm going to post this picture right here. If you want to see this, go to YouTube and make sure you like and subscribe to DeaconLive podcast over there. You can see this in real time as we're talking about it here. Jada Pinkett Smith is taking the new year, the new you to a new level in her first selfie of 2024. The gorgeous actress, who recently reunited with her estranged husband, Will Smith, for the holidays, took to Instagram on Tuesday to share a selfie which she rocks aviator glasses, a deer print puffy jacket, and white sweatpants and a black leg warmers. She captioned it, I think jean leg warmers is where it's at for me in 2024. But what's happening is, people were saying, if you're watching this video here, people were saying that she looks like Fat Joe on Ozempic. Now, Fat Joe, he's a famous rapper. He actually was on Ozempic and he's lost a lot of weight. And the two of them, because of the bald head, because of their both of them have a very feminine frame. They were making fun of Jada Pinkett, saying that she looks like Fat Joe on Ozempic. So you're going to see that picture out there. Another meme that's going to probably be taken over by storm. It's going to take over everything by storm. Everything's a meme. Now, one more thing before I let you go. A lot of people, a mass amount of Americans, United States, living here in the United States, are leaving the United States for bigger and better things. The new American dream is to leave. Most in the United States don't believe that hard work will get you ahead. And here's what some are striving for instead. Now, maybe this girl who got fired from her job, maybe this is what she can look for. The American dream has morphed into a pipe dream for many people living in the United States. Maybe they've got something there that we were talking about earlier in the program. At the heart of the national ethos, it is believed that anyone can rise up from rags to riches through hard work and perseverance. In the past, that was a symbolized by owning a large house with a white picket fence, driving a nice car, and having a happy, healthy, well-educated family. So with this new American dream, the Association of American Residents Overseas estimates that 5.4 million Americans live abroad in 2023. The biggest share of expats, people who are leaving, is 40%, are thought to have lived in the Western Hemisphere. People who are leaving the United States, 40% of them live in the Western Hemisphere, meaning Canada, Central and South America, or Europe. 26% live in Europe, while 14% are heading to East Asia and the Pacific. So what do they say? What don't you miss? The commercial real estate has outperformed the S&P 500 over 25 years. Here's how to diversify your portfolio without reaching your... Okay, so they're saying basically sell what you got and move overseas. Taking control of your finances in 2024. Is this an article? Am I reading this? But 45%, okay. 45% of the people think the American dream no longer holds true. So what is a new American dream? For some of us, like this TikTok influencer and full-time traveler, of course, that's what she does. The new America dream is to leave. As many Americans experience economic disenfranchisement at home, a few may be looking beyond the U.S. borders to locate life's sparkle. Elsie, who's the TikTok person, described in a video posted on June 23rd that some of her new dreams was to pack up and head to a quiet European town or a beachside village in Asia, somewhere where we aren't being poisoned by our food, we don't need 2 or 3 jobs to survive, and our healthcare isn't a luxury but the norm. She also says that some places where people stop and appreciate the little things and enjoy the slow life. A safe place where communities come together and support one another. Clearly, the young American is searching for more affordable, flexibility that she believes that she can experience in the United States. It's true. You try to do that anywhere here. You know, we live out here in the country, but Jesus Christ, it's expensive to live out here in the country. It really is. Clearly, the young Americans is searching for more. I already said that. It's been a tricky few years from an affordable standpoint for many Americans, and the Federal Reserve efforts to curb post-pandemic inflations by hiking interest rates have increased the cost of borrowing and reducing Americans' purchasing power. This has forced a lot of Americans to focus more on short-term goals, paying the rent on time, putting food on the table, over longer-term goals, home ownerships, raising a family, and retirement that one might traditionally associate with the American dream. Elsie, the TikToker, says that hands down the best part of being a United States citizen is our ability to leave the United States and travel abroad and seek out a better life. Let's take a moment to recognize how lucky we are that we can leave. Let's focus on getting remote jobs, building online business, grab our passports, and take advantage of the fact that because of the internet, we have the ability to earn U.S. level income from anywhere in the world. So let's dive into her video here. Now, don't forget, for every podcast we have a matching video, and now's a great time to go over there and watch us over there. Oh, I guess I was on the video already. So here we go. This is Elsie, and bryn.elise is her name, and she's verified on TikTok, so you know she's got to be true. And here she goes with her video as far as explaining why the new American dream is to leave. So here we go.
I think the new American dream is to leave, to pack up and head to a quiet European town or a beachside village in Asia, somewhere where we aren't being poisoned by our food, we don't need 2 to 3 jobs to survive, and where healthcare isn't a luxury, but the norm. Someplace where people stop and appreciate the little things and enjoy the slow life. A safe place where the community comes together and supports one another. We've been misled to believe that life is about enduring our circumstances and place of birth, but it is not a requirement in life that you have to stay in the same place you were born and spend your life struggling. Hands down, the best part about being a U.S. citizen is our ability to leave the U.S. and travel abroad to seek out a better life. So let's take a moment to recognize how lucky we are that we can leave. Let's focus on getting remote jobs or building online businesses, grab our passports, and take advantage of the fact that because of the internet, we have the ability to earn U.S. level income from anywhere in the world. The fact is, the old American dream just simply does not serve us anymore. And the new American dream lies beyond our borders.
Okay, so there you go. There's the video that she put out. Now, let me crush your dreams, children. She posts this video because she had to move out of the United States because of her husband's job. All right, so let's start there. It's not like she's out there, by herself in this world, and she's walking on beaches and doing all this. No, her husband has a job that takes him all over the place, and I don't know if it's military or not. It didn't look like a military thing, but his job is to go to these places and live there for a while, do his job, and then like a secret agent or something like that. So she's not out there traveling the world herself. Also, if you want to, she said in the video to be like, find the internet and make all your sales and stuff. Well, you can't do that sitting on an island. You got to be in the United States where you're in front of people. Hence, again, the initial conversation about going into the office and seeing someone face to face and, hey, I've got this brand new idea. I want to do all this stuff. You can't do that sitting in, this Costa Rican, habit, this building in the middle of a rainforest, and you're sitting there trying, no Wi-Fi signal. You're trying to sell this stupid stuff that you've got going on. You can't do that. You've got to start somewhere. But yes, the American dream, it's not what the American dream used to be. There are, because of what's going on today, hopefully 2024 will be better for all of us across the board. But if you want to just pack up your stuff and go, pack up your stuff and go. I'm not saying get out. I'm saying, do what you can. There's a reason why college students backpack across Europe to figure out who they are, and then they come back and back to the ho-hum of the United States. So the whole American dream leaving, yes, if you've got certain amount of money, you can leave. If you're right out of college and you want to live in somewhere else, you've got to do something. You've got to, it's not like they're just going to give it to you. Oh, welcome to our country. Here's, $500,000 and there's your bungalow over there, and dinner will be ready at 8:00. No. So it sounds simple when someone tells you, hey, give me $1,000 and I'll make it $10,000. Well, how do you do that? Well, on your check, I'll just write another O on it. There you go. Now I made it $10,000. That's how easy this works. It doesn't work that way, unfortunately. You do have to have a little bit of heart, a little bit of effort, and a little bit of labor into whatever you want to make of yourself. So hopefully in 2024, we can all take that in, and absorb it and hopefully do better with ourselves in this upcoming year. All right, guys, on that note, I'm going to let you get back to doing whatever you want to do. I'll let you do it. And make sure you follow us on your Facebook page. Make sure you follow us on YouTube. The way you find out is go to Prophet Radio, PROPHET radio.com. While you're there, make sure you be heard. Click on that little bar there and make sure you get yourself some free swag as well. All right, guys, on that note, I'm going to let you get back to doing what you got to do. My name is the Deacon, saying good night and good night.
Wait. Come back. This is the end. The absolute end.
Écoute-moi.
Happy New Year. There you go. That's one for the books.